Welcome back to the Eagles on the Air podcast. I'm Rhett Terrell, joined here with Bradley Hanna, and this week we're going to be giving you a little recap of the Fort Bend Savio game, Fort Bend Eagles versus Cornerstone game, and the Fort Bend Pflugerville game. And then finally coming up with a little sneak preview into the game coming up on Friday, Fort Bend Christian versus Concordia Lutheran Academy. It's going to be a great episode. Make sure to watch till the end.
Welcome back to the Eagles on the Air podcast. I'm Bradley Hanna, here joined with Rhett Terrell. And it's been a while since we had our last podcast episode. Since then, the FBCA Eagles are 1-2 with a 24-0 win against St. Dominic Savio, 37-7 loss against Cornerstone Christian, and then a 40-0 loss against Pflugerville. So we definitely know what the weakness is. It's that O-line for the Eagles, missing their star Aaron Howe on right tackle. But Cole Whittem will be back, so we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, this Eagles offense really needs to get going. Only scoring 7 points in the last 2 weeks isn't the best stuff. We saw them score 24 in week 1, so there is that sign of a good offense there. Just kind of have to sort out a few kinks, get the receivers blocking, get the O-line blocking for the run as well. We saw Patrick Wadlington had 12 carries and only 76 yards to show for it last week. So not a bad week at all from Patrick Wadlington. As we saw, he won Eagles on the Air Player of the Week, but we're still looking for him to get more, as we know he can with his abilities. We saw him also with a pick, so the defense has still looked very decent for the Eagles. We saw them both weeks only allow 7 points against Cornerstone, and then only 17 against Pflugerville to open up in the first half. It's just that the lack of depth is just
definitely.
These Eagles are playing the entire game, playing both sides of the ball. Saw Donnie Avery play more snaps than Travis Hunter played, and so these Eagles are just getting tired on the field, and there's really nothing you could do about that. It's just the lack of depth that we have at the defensive front is really hindering this Eagles defense, because we know what they can do up until that second half. So
yeah, for sure. It's going to be nice to have edge rusher Jonah Kalu back also.
Absolutely.
He's going to be paired with Trace Holster, who has 7 sacks on the season. We made a graphic about him a while back where he was second in all of Texas. So Trace Holster's having a monster season already. He had 4 sacks, then 2 sacks, and then 1 sack. So he's had a sack every game, and he's just looking to dominate. But he doesn't really do that as well without Jonah Kalu. And we definitely saw that last week, as he was having trouble getting in the backfield because of the other pressure that we usually see from Kalu. So it's going to be nice to have Jonah Kalu back in there to help out that edge rushing duo.
Well, absolutely. When you have 2 edge rushers like that, it changes the game, because you don't know who to double team. If you're double teaming Trace Holster, then Jonah Kalu has a good chance of getting through. And if you're double teaming both of them, then you have Brady Posset, nose tackle, who can also make some plays. So that's really that one loss of Jonah Kalu can change a game completely, and we saw that last week versus Pflugerville.
And then it's also going to be interesting to see how they can get the freshmen involved. We've been seeing Holden Probst is playing left tackle, and then a lot of T2 Williams this past weekend. We saw against Pflugerville, he had a bunch of really good returns, I think 2 into plus territory, so that was great to see. But then also on the receiving side, the first game he had his 2 receiving touchdowns. That was a big deal. But then after that, they just haven't been able to get him the ball. They keep trying to go deep, but just a bunch of struggles on the offensive front.
Yeah, I think getting this receiving core going, and it is something that is really imperative towards this Eagles offense, and that starts with the front line. Give Cole Whittem at least 4 seconds of protection, and then see what can happen. So we know that this Eagles has very good skill positions on this offensive front. It's just getting them going, and just kind of having them get settled into the new offense with the new coaching staff, and just really getting that offense to start working. We see Patrick Wadlington, who we already talked about, he's absolutely incredible from the backfield. You have Dylan Cooper, who had a 60-yard kick return last week. We have Donnie Avery playing both sides of the ball, but he's great at receiver. Had a few receptions himself. Braden Tibbetts, even, who played quarterback last week, but now moving back to receiver with Whittem returning. His Eagles skill position set is so good. It's just getting them going, getting them settled in is what really needs to happen for this Eagles offense.
And we'll have to see what happens this Friday. They have a big game against Concordia Lutheran, a top 5 game in Texas private school. So we'll see what happens with the big stakes. You know, they're 1-2, trying to get back in that 500 range. So a big game coming up. We'll definitely have to see what happens next.
Replacing everyone's favorite segment, Pancake of the Week, is the new segment, Play of the Week. And that will be led by Eagles on their very own Tyler Prater. Sending it to you.
We have Patrick Wellington leaping up, making an absolute insane snag above the wide receiver for Pflugerville, and coming down with an absolute bomb of an interception. He even won Player of the Week by Eagles on the Air for this exact play. And thank you for watching this week's Play of the Week. Sending it back to you guys.
Thanks, TP, for the play of the game. Now we got to talk about some volleyball. We're going to have our first volleyball broadcast this upcoming Tuesday against Logos Prep.
Volleyball team starting off very good, 17-9, almost at 750 winning percentage. We have a very good team this year, even though despite losing some seniors, lost about, I think 5 starters were seniors last year. So a bunch of big losses all across the court, but as we see, the volleyball team has still been able to ball out, beat Second Baptist in 2 sets about a month ago. So the volleyball team is very good this year, as they have been for the past couple years.
Yeah, Ruth Ocelli is a big loss, and then also, of course, Bailey Minor. They're at the front, just always there to get a bunch of kills. That's what their main job was. And then you have people stepping into those roles. Gabby James has done a great job. So has Tanner Tell, Lacey McGrady, stepping into those upperclassmen roles. And that's really one thing that we've seen out of a bunch of underclassmen also. Addie Chris now coming to play varsity volleyball. She's played great. Reagan Jarrett is also on the varsity team now. So a bunch of big upgrades for this team, but also a bunch of losses. It's going to be interesting to see what the FBCA volleyball team looks like this season. Thank you for watching this episode of the Eagles in the Air podcast. Don't forget to tune in this Friday, 7 p.m., September 19th, where FBCA will go to Concordia Lutheran to take on the Crusaders. Going to be a great match, TXPS Top 5 Game of the Week. And then also on Tuesday, FBCA will be hosting Logos Prep for volleyball. Thank you for watching. You're watching Eagles in the Air.